Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Facebook for our WWE Elimination Chamber 2023 Roundtable Review. We are here to discuss the premium live event from WWE last night from Montreal. And boy, oh boy, the road to WrestleMania just got very, very more interesting. I am here with a star-studded cast of our favorite contributors here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. First up, we have the better half of the True Jaw Josh, the most positive person, I would say, out of all of our contributors, and the best smile. It is Wendy.
Hi. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, True Hill Heat chat. I'm happy to be here today, joining with you amazing fellas on this roundtable.
I don't get to do a lot of stuff with Wendy. And the last time I did something with her, we were very sad and almost getting into tears talking about the Jay Briscoe tribute show. So I'm glad we have more positive stuff to talk about. Except if we were Quebecers or anything like that. But yes, we're more positive on this one. And of course, you see him on NX3. You see him over on twitch.tv/True Hill Heat Gaming on Blunt Impact every Thursday. You've seen him on countdowns for the year-end list with me. He's all over the place. He is the three-time baby-making champion. This is Ness.
True Heels, what's the deal? Thank you for joining us this lovely Sunday morning. Thank you to anyone that joined us last night for our watch-alongs. It was a long night. Great show. Ready to talk about it with my True Hill Heat family, and it's going to be another great review.
I was freaking exhausted going to bed at almost 2:30 a.m. yesterday after NJPW Battle of the Valley ended.
I like 12:30. I'm like, all right, I can't do this. I'm tired.
He's like, I'm not built to this. We got kids, yo. Like this is people gotta understand. It's tough. I get woken up at like 5, 6 in the morning. So to then turn around and stay up until 2 a.m. For a New Japan show, but I mean the final 2 matches, man. We will talk more about that tomorrow, right here on the channel. Me and Jay News will be here for our NJPW Battle in the Valley review. But yes, we are here to discuss WWE Elimination Chamber 2023, the final premium live event ahead of WrestleMania 39 coming up this April. So we want to thank everyone for joining us here today, this morning. Remember to show your appreciation by dropping the thumbs up on the video. That helps out the YouTube algorithms a lot. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We're on like a streak of multiple days. I think we've gone like 14 days of content here on the channel, whether it be a review, an interview, a watch along. We stay consistent with the content, so welcome aboard. And we've gained about 100 subscribers in the past day between True Hill Heat 213 yesterday and the watch alongs that we did last night. A couple of new people coming along here, so welcome aboard to the ride, and thank you for everyone who's been here for a while. Like a lot of people in the chat, sound off in the chat. We want to hear from you what you thought about WWE Elimination Chamber 2023. Of course, if you want your comment highlighted on screen and you want to help us out a super chat donation is the best way to do that. It helps out the contributors, it helps the channel grow, and it'll make sure we highlight your comment on screen here. We got one of our favorites, one of our Patreon backers, Dolores, in the chat saying, "What's up, everyone?" And always, I can always count on Dolores for the plugs. She says, "Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel and join True Hill Heat Patreon. Best money you will spend, $3 a month. Consistent content over there as well as our prediction championship, which I don't know if I did well or not. I know there was a couple of things I got wrong. I got most of the predictions right on both. I think on all three shows with GCW.
Those trick questions, man.
Yeah.
Romeo and those trick questions.
I hate him. I hate him for it. I honestly do. I hate him for a number of other things, but that's the most. CM says, "Nah, I enjoyed my sleep." Well, congratulations to you. Sheesh. We got Frantic World who says, "What's up, SP3, Ness, Wendy, and Chat." We got the good brother Vala B with the super chat donation. Says, "I know Chrissy isn't here, but I want to say she was right. I shouldn't have trusted neutered Paul. I wasn't hot on the finish. Men's Chamber was great." I agree with most of what Vala B had to say here. We always start off these roundtable reviews with one word to give your thoughts on the overall show. Wendy, let's start with you.
Oh, one word?
Yes, one word.
One word. I can't think of a word. Can you come back to me?
No worries. My one word would be man. The best word I can think of is I had a good 2.5 hour, 3 hour sex session, and then just when my partner was about to reach their climax, I came right before it. That's what that finish felt like for me. That's not one word, but that's the feeling that I had. It wasn't exactly like Dynamite a couple of weeks ago. That was fantastic until the Guns won the AEW World Title. That was like having an hour and 56-minute great sex session, and then your partner kicked you in the dick. This wasn't a kick in the dick. It was just, I know some people were left unsatisfied because they came too early. But Ness.
Oh man! Well, after that, I don't. Well, I don't have a one word. I have like a phrase. I think it was well done. I think it was done well. So well done is my phrase. Overall, and looking at everything that took place, I think it went well. Some things could have been tweaked, but overall, well done. I enjoyed it.
There we go. We got Vala B reminding us no big WWE show the next 6 weeks. Man, we got a long road coming up to WrestleMania. A lot of big things should be happening over the next couple of weeks on television. Vala B also saying, "I'm telling you, we hitting 7K by the end of the year, maybe even 8K. I know we came in with the goal, Wendy and Ness, with like 5K for this year, and it seems like we're rushing along to that very fast."
That's good. Yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh.
I gave you time, Wendy.
Yeah, I got. Okay, so you know how in elementary school how they would give you in your report cards like either excellent, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, and stuff. I'll give it a satisfactory.
There you go. She's like,
I might
have
to use that in the future.
Yeah, she's like, I can't give it I can't. This is like first grade graded. She was like, I can't give you an excellent, but satisfactory.
There you go.
Like I said,
there you go. It just hit me.
Putting that work for 3 hours. Then they was about to hit that come, and then
wasn't fully there yet. It could improve. They can improve.
Exactly. Room for improvement.
Exactly.
Silver Guy JJ saying, "Great show last night. What a successful night for wrestling as a whole." Yeah, 100%. I was definitely satisfied with both shows from last night. We got Frantic World who says, "So the WWE main event gave you blue balls."
Oh my god.
That's never a good thing. No way you spin it. Blue balls is not fun.
We got CM. He says, "I left at like 1, got those good 5.5 hours, loved it. I got like 4.5, maybe 5 hours before my kids was like, no, Dad, time to wake up. They gave me an extra hour because my kids was up at like 6 a.m. And then, of course, it's never Cindy, it's Harlem who comes in. They're like, yep, time to get up.
Yep.
Time to get up. Need you to change my diaper and get your ass up. We got Vala B with another super chat donation. You are bringing it good this morning, Vala B. He says, also by the finish, I just mean the Jay stuff. I expected things with him to be more overt, I guess. We will get to that, but I will say, like, I wasn't looking for what, the Montreal fans was looking for. All I wanted was some real progression of the key stories, which is the Sami KO, Jey Uso. I just wanted something there, and I did not get that. So that is the spoiler before we get to the main event. But let's get into this show. This WWE confirmed this. I almost called him Vince, even though he books like him. Triple H confirmed during the press conference that this was the highest drawing, highest grossing event that they ever did in Montreal and Quebec at the Bell Center. I said one word to describe the show overall. My one word to describe the crowd in Montreal was all-timer. This was an all-timer crowd reactions to pretty much everything they saw on the show. What would be your one word to describe the crowd, Wendy?
On fire. Well, it's not one word, but they were on fire.
No. We can make literally. It one word. We speak
No, they were on fire. Like, they were high. They were ready. Like, I think it's kind of refreshing because you don't really get that from like other places. I mean, you would think like maybe New York and stuff like that, that would be one city that would be, that would have that, how Montreal was. But it was kind of refreshing because it kind of brings back to like, back in the day, like in the Attitude Era, how like the fans, they were wild, they were crazy, like they'll tell you how they feel. So for Montreal to, have that crowd, how they were yesterday, it was refreshing. They were on fire. They were ready to tell you how they felt. They didn't hold back.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I said they were electrifying, man. They were lit from start to finish. Everything, like literally everybody got some type of reaction. Like when he said in the States, there's guys and girls that come out and they get nothing, like get their mouse piss on cotton, and everybody got a reaction. They reacted to the things that they needed to, probably reacted to stuff that they didn't need to, but they don't get that often, so they really appreciated the show themselves, and like that's what us at home look for. Because if you guys, he's looking at you, Brooklyn, you guys are home and we're watching, and like we're watching for the actual show and then the audience within the show that is supposed to make it a little bit better. And if you're a dead crowd, you're pretty much going to ruin the show outside. Like, even though like the wrestling will be great, segments can be great, if the crowd sucks, we're going to let you know about it. So this crowd, this Montreal crowd was very, very, very great.
I loved it. I loved it last night, and it started off very hot with one of our Elimination Chamber matches. Keep signing off in the live chat. Keep sending in those super chat donations. We will highlight as many comments as we possibly can, but let's start off with the Women's Elimination Chamber, which kicked off the show. The winner, of course, moves on to face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. I will say, with the Elimination Chamber now, I remember back when like Elimination Chamber started, they always did kind of specify what the intervals were. They were very specific last night in not specifying. They said regularly scheduled intervals, but they never specified how long the intervals are. I think it was basically, they were like, hey, if it's going well, we're going to make it longer. If it's not going well, we're going to bring somebody in there. But we had Asuka, of course, coming out. The first two into the match were Natalya, who got a huge pop from her Canadian crowd, and then Liv Morgan, who was the last to come out and the first one in the matchup. I thought because of Liv starting off this match, we were going to get more of the story of how she did in the Royal Rumble, starting from the start to the end. That was my prediction, that Liv Morgan would be at the end. Didn't quite go that way, but they had a pretty decent start to this matchup. matchup. I believe the next end was Raquel Rodriguez. After after about 3 minutes, she was the third into the matchup. She starts slamming people all over everywhere. We had Nikki Cross was the fourth in, who still had on a ring jacket when she came into the matchup. I love Nikki for her facial expressions and how she went around to everybody before she got into her pod eventually. And then she did a crazy dive, high cross body off the top of her pod down to a pile of women underneath. We had Carmella coming in fifth. She gets a 2 count on Rodriguez before she starts yelling to Asuka in her pod. At this point, on the outside of near the pod area, we had Raquel smash Nikki Cross into her I think Carmelo's pod, breaking it completely. They were so in love with this spot that they completely missed her Raquel pinning Nikki. I thought that was a little bit.
I missed it too because I'm like, when the hell did Nikki Cross get eliminated from this match? I didn't even see her pinner.
It was not the best time there.
Even the commentators was confused. Like they was just saying, like, "Oh, like did Nikki get eliminated?" Like they didn't even know. They couldn't even see it themselves.
They were so into that spot. Then we had another good spot where Liv Morgan did a sunset flip bomb off of a pod onto Raquel Rodriguez. At that point, this is when Asuka comes in, and she immediately goes after Carmella for talking all that shit, bashes her into the chamber, gives her a bunch of spinning back fists. Eventually, they get into the ring, a whole bunch of other spots with Raquel and other girls involved there. Eventually, they do eliminate Liv Morgan as Natalya has her in the sharpshooter, and Asuka comes up and puts her into the Asuka lock. That was a nice little sequence there, and how it did help Liv Morgan look strong in defeat. This was about like 16 minutes into the matchup. And then they just basically sped through the rest of this. We got quickly after this, Carmella hits a super kick on Natalya. She's eliminated. You got the stare off between Carmella and Asuka, and they decide they're going to team up together against the monster Raquel. A series of kick after kick after kick after kick from both ladies leads to the double pin on Raquel. And then almost immediately after that, it's Asuka locking on the new variant of the Asuka lock, the Rings of Saturn Asuka lock, on Carmella for the tap out win. This matchup went 19 minutes 43 seconds, so just under 20 minutes. This was going well until they just started fast forwarding through the end of this. I did enjoy what we got up to that, so I gave it 3.5 stars. But this was a predictable Elimination Chamber going in, and it was exactly what I expected it to be. Asuka looking good, going on and winning, and now she goes on to face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 39. It's going to be a great match, but it's kind of like what WWE fans say about most AEW show. Where's the story? Anyway, Wendy, what did you think about the Women's Elimination Chamber match?
I liked it. I thought that it was gonna end up being like Liv like at the end, because like they kind of like the way they're kind of making her build off, like making her look strong based off how she was in the Royal Rumble. I thought that I agree. I thought that was gonna be played into the chamber. It was good. I just felt like at first it kind of, there were some parts where it kind of built up slow, but then it speed up at the end after Liv got eliminated. I thought it was good. I agree. I give it 3 stars. At the end of the day, I'm just happy that my queen, your queen, everybody else's queen won. I really do hope that after this, I do hope they build a story between Asuka and Bianca, so that, you know, it could kind of go towards where it could fit the storyline with Rhea and Charlotte, how they had this big storyline that happened like years ago. Like, I hope they can build it to where everyone could be, you know, ecstatic to want to watch this. Like, oh, I can't wait to see this match. Like, I hope they really built it, you know, make a really good storyline. So Triple H, don't mess up.
we're calling on you, as Vala B calls you, neutered Paul. Ness, what did you think about the women's chamber?
I gave it 3.5 as well. This was much better than what I was expecting it to be. Going in with low expectations, I shouldn't have been disappointed, and I wasn't. A lot of action from the ladies. It actually, I might save this comment for the next chamber because the kind of moves for both. But I think it was well paced. I gotta agree. I thought Liv was gonna go the distance, but the way that she was eliminated, once again, her pain is my pleasure because she looked like she was enjoying it very much so, and she went out like a G. Got to give her props for that. But yeah, and actually I like the fact that they had Liv, they had Raquel, Nikki Cross, just like a couple faces that they'll get their shine and they aren't on the level as far as notoriety as a Charlotte Flair or as an Asuka, those major names that they weren't in this match, outside of Asuka. So I'm glad that these ladies got the opportunity to show what they did, what they can do, and they went out. I think they put on a great match. But yeah, that's all. I don't really have anything negative to say about this. 3.5. It did speed up, but again, I'll say that come for the next chamber because it kind of goes for both of them. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Despite like I said, it went a little bit fast at the end, and I wish that they would have like kind of built up to things. Like I think if they would have ended with Asuka and Raquel and gave them a couple of time, but if it was gonna end with Carmella and Asuka, it needed to end quick.
Yeah, and I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm actually one gripe I do have is Carmella was one of the last two people. I'd much rather would have had Liv or Raquel.
Yeah.
But Vince is still
or even Natalia because she was the fan free.
Yeah.
They're in Canada.
Yeah,
Vince is still booking from the shadows somewhere.
And Nikki Cross, I wanted more Nikki Cross. It felt like she did her big spot, and it was like, all right, time to get her out of here.
I'm out.
2 spots. You're jumping off something, and you're jumping off the pod, and then you're going through the pod.
Exactly.
Now y'all out of here.
Josh saying fans make up for the amount of losing they've seen being there. Damn. We also got Frantic World says, I'm glad that everyone enjoyed WWE and NJPW pay-per-view last night. Queen Monet says, I had low expectations for this combination of women, but I loved it. All of the women did great. Yeah, they worked very hard with this one for sure. We had Antoine, who says they should have had Becky in it since Bayley was going to see Mercedes match. I definitely said that Becky should have probably won that triple threat on Raw to add some more star power into this matchup and another option to face Bianca eventually. And we had Javon who said, my guess is Asuka will say Bianca was scared to face her and she chose a different opponent at WrestleMania 37. I mean, that's a lot of faith in WWE to remember that.
They don't act like you don't even remember what the shit happened last week. So
we got Frantic World who says, has Asuka and Bianca faced each other before? I believe they have, maybe on like an episode of Raw, but never like on the big stage, and not this variant of Asuka for sure, or maybe in NXT as well. Maybe I don't remember.
I believe in
Ghostface.
I don't
think so. See, there's that memory. So I
don't think so because wasn't Asuka not like, didn't she go to the main roster like once they started building up Bianca Belair in NXT?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think they had a match in NXT or.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. More, it would have been on like a random episode of Raw that I'm probably forgetting, but.
Or SmackDown.
Oh, okay. I just looked it up. This is what Google's here for, ladies and gentlemen. They face on the May 9th and May 30th editions of Monday Night Raw last year. This was ahead of the triple threat at Hell in a Cell when it was Asuka, Becky, and Bianca. Yeah. This is what Google's here for, ladies and gentlemen. It just takes a couple of seconds to see WWE repeating Raw matches from a year ago. Anyway, We got Ghostface who says, when is NJPW gonna get American TV challenge deal so I can watch it? It's more money in just having New Japan World, sir, and it's cheaper than the network. It's not. I don't think it's as cheap as Peacock now. Peacock you can get for $5, but it's cheaper than most subscription services, and the shows are top notch. So I would suggest getting NJPW World if you really want to see New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. We got Javon who said Asuka talking spicy on Twitter. So off we go. Yes, indeed. Look at Queen Monet. She knew her stuff. She said they faced the Raw before Hell in a Cell last year. The King Ellie Shell says the women's number one contenders match was produced by TJ Wilson, Molly Holly, and Petey Williams. And he said the U.S. Championship match one was produced by Jamie Noble and Abyss. Nice to see other people get a shot. That's true. That's cool. Very cool right there. Next, we had the big hype package, and then it was Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, the rubber match. Part 3 of the trilogy. 2 big meaty men slapping meat, and this was your Brock Lesnar special full of finishers. It was a bunch of finishers. We had a spear early on by Bobby, and Lesnar kicked out. Then we had a F5 by Lesnar on Lashley. Lashley kicked out. Lashley hit a second spear, and then he goes for the hurt lock. We're not even 2 minutes in, and we get another F5 for another 2 count. Bobby hits another spear. He then goes for the hurt lock, and Brock Lesnar said he was in the moment, and he was like, I can really just fight out of this. I can try to go for that pinning combination I did out of the hurt lock at Crown Jewel. And then he remembered what happened on SmackDown the night prior when Bray Wyatt said the winner of this matchup he wanted at WrestleMania. And he was like, nah, I'm good. And kicked Bobby Lashley in the dick to cause a disqualification. It was fun while it lasted. It was fast-paced with all the finisher spamming. But, man, this whole finish just went off like a wet fart. But the post-match was better as Brock Lesnar just started to destroy people. He grabs the referee. He gives the F5 to the referee. He grabs Bobby. He delivers the F5 to him. He goes to the outside and he takes off, the stuff on the table. And then he delivers the F5 on the table to Bobby Lashley. And then he even decides to give another F5 for the referee, which probably wasn't planned if you know Brock Lesnar and his history. And Brock left this whole thing, even though he was pretty much presented as a total villain here with the kick in the dick and the attack after the match. These Canadians consider him the honorary Canuck and cheered the hell out of him, and he was the big baby face. I would think that this is setting up a 4th match, or maybe a stipulation match between the two, but the whole Bray Wyatt inclusion on SmackDown has me left confused. Maybe we do a 3-way, but I don't see how Bobby Lashley can take this as a win and face, Bray Wyatt without having Brock Lesnar in it, or without him looking like a pussy after how Brock destroyed him after the match. The match itself, I gave it 2 stars. I think I'm being generous. Ness, what did you think?
Yeah, two stars. Again, Brock Lesnar match. Well, against guys his size, you've seen them all. So this basically was a run-of-the-mill Brock Lesnar match. That finish was fucking weak. I'm sorry. I was expecting anything more than Brock Lesnar having to struggle to get out of the hurt lock. On top of that, he wants to get himself disqualified. But again, knowing that the next program is going to be with Bray Wyatt, I don't fucking blame him. Because there's nothing really positive that's been coming out of anything with Bray Wyatt recently. So, sorry to you, Bobby. You won, but you really lost. But yeah, the match. I didn't think after this, bro. I'm just like, oh, what the fuck ever. At this point, Brock lost, which I didn't expect, which is cool. But then they had to give Bobby, it wasn't even a definitive win. Come on, during Black History Month. Let him beat Brock Lesnar strongly, Just let him do it once. Just once in this month.
He's for Black History Month. Give him that.
Yeah, just let him get the decisive win over Brock. But then, going into the thing next is with Bray. That doesn't do so. What he gets a disqualified victory over Brock. Now he's gonna get fed to Bray and lose that. neither one of these are wins. Like either way you try to shape it up. Like I don't want to see that. I barely kind of wanted to see this match because I kind of had to figure out how it was going to go. It didn't even go the way I wanted it to go. It went worse. So that really pissed me off with the fact that these guys are facing each other again. And now the result is going to be something else that I don't want to see. So, but shout out to Brock. He played chess, not checkers. He's like, well, fuck this. I don't want to deal with Bray Wyatt either. So here, Bobby, it's all you. You can have all the fun you want with that shit.
Wendy, what did you think about this one?
Oh, what do I think about this match?
Yes.
Well, I'll take your analogy of sex. So I would say it was quick. It was quick.
That is never a compliment from a woman.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's not. It's not at all. Not at all.
Might as well say. I might as well say it was quick. What did I think? I mean, at first, I thought it was gonna be, when it comes to Brock Lesnar's matches, I don't know. I keep getting that memory of the match he had with Goldberg, the first match he ever had with Goldberg, WrestleMania. What was it? WrestleMania 20. And
the first one, WrestleMania 20.
Yeah.
We're talking about the best 5-minute match at WrestleMania 33.
No. The WrestleMania 20 when he first fought Goldberg and how the match was and how people hated it, right? So I thought it was gonna like start off like that, but then it was just like finish it. It's like, okay, it's like, I mean, people expected it to be a really good match, but I wasn't surprised. Because it kind of didn't want to make, I guess they didn't want to make Brock look weak, like if Bobby were to beat him again and stuff. And then, so they had to pick, they had to find a way to make them both look strong in a way. I mean, wasn't surprised with the finish. Wasn't surprised. I had a feeling that it was probably going to be in a DQ or something. And then, it was just quick. I don't know. It was just one point. It was quick. It's like, oh, you did it, and it's like, oh, that's basically what it was. Like, okay, it's like you expected more, and then that was the end result of it.
You were left not satisfied, which
Oh,
that's
there
how
you
I
go.
felt too.
Unsatisfactory. Unsatisfactory. That's basically what that match was. I don't know what's gonna happen for WrestleMania. I don't know. It could be a triple threat between Bray, Lesnar, Bobby. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. If that were to happen, I don't know. Maybe it could be a really good match at WrestleMania, or maybe it'll be just like this match, even quicker.
Oh man, I mean, at least if you have Bray in there with two guys of Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, I probably won't say it's the and then the bell rings like I did at Royal Rumble. At least it'll be entertaining with all the finisher spamming at least. But man, this was a letdown in a vacuum in this matchup. This was a letdown to have it end in this matter. Couple of notes that I have here, or a couple of things that happened either between matches and stuff. So first, they had the first of the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood Again parodies trailers, and we had Seth Rollins as the Joker, which makes so much sense. He did the dance down the stairs, and then he is approached by Batman Becky Lynch, who was unmasked. I don't know why, but she was unmasked and grabs him to ask what that was. And Rollins says, "What's up with her voice?" And then she puts on glasses and declares herself the man and says she's going to the man cave. And he said he's ready for WrestleMania. And he says that she is the man. This was fun, goofy stuff, but definitely Seth was the better of the two.
Oh yeah.
Agree. It's good that because it makes sense, right? Because they're going to Hollywood, right? So it brings back like WrestleMania 21.
Yeah.
How they had all these movie clips and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. Who better than to play the Joker than Seth freaking Rollins? Hollywood, do y'all see this? If Joaquin Phoenix does not come back as Joker, you have a perfect guy to be the Joker. Okay.
Hey, Becky getting acting gigs. Why can't Seth?
Exactly. At first, I was confused. I was like, "Who is Becky trying to be?" But I was like, at first, because like with her voice, I was like, and then I don't know. At first, I was confused. I was like, "Who's she trying to be? Batman?" Like, and then it made sense towards the end. I'm like, "Oh, Batman, duh." But out of the two, I really like Seth. Hello, Seth freaking Rollins. Give him an Oscar, you guys. Give him an Oscar. He needs to give him
the Oscar.
He deserves
his Joker impersonation.
Yes.
Ness, any comments on the parody trailer?
That was actually a great performance from Seth. I'm actually surprised he doesn't get more acting looks like Becky or Roman, because he does great with his character on screen for the WWE in general. So, but I think it's just more so wrestling and then all the other media stuff that comes along with it. Because I think like once he hits Hollywood, that might be it for him too. So he just might want to just stick with the wrestling as of right now. And I don't want him to go anywhere either. You know, more power to him to get that money, get them acting gigs, get that shine. But please stay in the wrestling ring. I don't want you to.
A couple of comments I want to highlight here. We got Frantic World says, "I'm convinced now Brock loves beating up black wrestlers, and it's Black History Month too."
That was me the whole stream last night. When there was a black person in the match during Black History Month. This is what we do.
always with Brock. Queen Monet says, "I hope we get Brock versus Bobby in Fight Pit at Mania now. Neither of them should face Bray." I said it. I think on the prediction show on Believe. I said it also, I think, on True Hill Heat yesterday. That's the match I would book. I would book Brock and Bobby in the Fight Pit. Two former MMA fighters going at it in that Fight Pit would be amazing. We got Frantic World who says, "Wendy is like, wow, Brock is a 1 minute man." Frantic World got all the jokes today.
Hey, that's how it felt.
Break me off. Show me what you got. And I don't want no Brock Lesnar, man. We got King of the North who says DQ finishes on pay-per-view are always very bad. Yeah, it's never really good. It's never really good. And he also says, "I'm sorry to hear about Bray Wyatt." I feel like King of the North is now coming here to learn about what's going on in WWE outside of his Twitter feed, because he's like, damn, I didn't know that this could get worse.
And that's what's going to happen. I really hope they don't go that route. I mean, unfortunately, they're already doing it, but oh, God.
King of the North also saying Brock gonna go full Randy Orton match on Bray Wyatt when he teleports. He said, "I thought this was really bad." Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was not. This was definitely the weakest thing on the show for sure. We got Javon who says, "It took me way too long to realize Becky was Batman. I knew from the voice, but I was just like, where's the mask? Like, why you don't have a mask on?"
Or maybe that was the shades. Maybe the shades that she had, maybe that was her mask.
But there's not a lot of scenes that we see with Batman unmasked talking to the Joker.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like that's the thing.
That's
like
true.
I was like, this isn't basically cinematically accurate.
Yeah.
Definitely, it could have been better, but definitely Seth was the highlight of that. The other note that I wanted to say between matches is the shade on Tony Khan throughout this whole show. First, you had on the pre-show, Ariel Helwani was on the pre-show, and he got introduced by Peter Rosenberg, who said anyone with half intelligence would respect this man as a journalist, Ariel Helwani. And then we had Michael Cole when they see Ariel Helwani standing next to UFC Hall of Famer George St. Pierre in the crowd. He says, "The unbiased Ariel Helwani who asks all the hard questions, even if you don't want to answer them." Wrestling is back, baby. We get interpromotional rivalries. I am here for it. We didn't get you guys' thoughts. We talked about it a lot on True Hill Heat 213, the old Tony Khan, Ariel Helwani feud on Twitter, and it spills over into the Elimination Chamber. What do you guys think about this whole messy situation, Wendy?
Damn, the shade is real. When I think that part when Peter introduced Ariel, I was like, wait, like when I was listening to it, I was just like, was that shade thrown at Tony Khan? I was like, I thought I was hearing things right. I thought I was hearing things. I'm like, was that shade? And then once they introduced him again with what's his name? John
GSP.
Paul. Oh,
GSP.
GSP. I was just like, oh yeah, they're being very petty. They're throwing shades. They're really throwing some shades. They're kind of like, it's kind of like high school in a way. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna throw some shade at you. Like I'm gonna be subtle with it, but you're gonna know I'm throwing shade.
And
It's like Mean Girls.
I listened to Observer Radio this morning, and apparently Ariel Helwani's snowman line on Twitter got the real like high five from everybody in the back at WWE. They're like, "Yeah, you got him good." Ness, what do you think about the whole Tony Khan Ariel Helwani feud and it spilling over into the chamber here?
I know was it Vala B that's been calling Triple H neutered Paul? I'm calling Petty Paul because that was pure pettiness. As much as a lot of the fans like, oh, there's no war. When they go on and start putting the stuff on television, as much as people say, oh, WWE's not worried about AEW. Come on now, like they might not be quote unquote worried, but they're acknowledging them. Obviously, if you're following what's going on in the wrestling world outside of what's actually on TV, like what this all stood for. So, but hey, it's fine with me. I'll take the pettiness. I don't give a shit. I'll go back and forth. We just know that the snowman's probably he's probably having fun right now. I'll just leave that comment at that. And then he'll have his retort either on Twitter or this week on Dynamite. So, and that's just going to keep the fire fueling.
Man, shameful how Jeezy and Gucci Man had to get involved in this feud between Ariel Helwani and Tony Khan. Damn shame.
They actually tried to bring in. I see something on somebody tried to bring in Meltzer too on the internet on Twitter. He's like, oh yeah, they're all like, oh, they're unbiased. Helwani's unbiased, but you got guys like Meltzer, this, that, and the third. Meltzer's like, well, if you're gonna mention me with AEW, I hope you mention me with all the clips that got me in WWE too. God never said anything back. So it was just like, yeah, you guys don't pick and choose with how you want to feel. Like Meltzer, he does both. He might not like WWE content as much as another company, but he definitely does gives his unbiased opinion on stuff. So hey, you can't just be pulling raps out of your hat here and there when your argument works for you.
Yeah. Why do I feel like this gives me back back in the day with WCW? You know how they used to always like throw shade at WWE at the time when they were in the wars? Like it was mostly like, obviously you hear like Eric Bischoff, he would say some slick, like some shady comment. I feel like this is what it's giving me right now.
We had the Billionaire Ted segments in 1996. I wouldn't be surprised if we had Snowman Tony segments in 2024. If they're still around, if AEW's still around, I wouldn't be surprised if we get Snowman Tony segments with what he had the Hulkster, the Huckster or something like that. And you get a fake Jericho and maybe a fake Punk and a fake Moxley. A fake Elite. Oh man, that would be grand. I want it.
Imagine
Wrestling War, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the new Wrestling War.
It's coming. Wallaby says, did you see Ariel's face when Brandon Thurston asked a real question to Hunter? Yes, I did. I saw the picture on social media because Brandon Thurston actually asked him about the WWE sale, an actual real question, which we never really see at these WWE press conferences. Javon saying that Triple H gives an answer, non-answer at the press conference, which is all TK had to do. He did. If you watch that interview, he did give non-answers for most of it, but Ariel kept pushing it, and when he had the chance with Triple H, did not ask even one remote question about Vince McMahon or anything like that at all. Didn't even ask about Stephanie taking a leave of absence before Vince retired. Like, something that goes around, the thing that he doesn't want to ask, he can go around it by asking about Stephanie, who is Triple H's wife. So he didn't do any of that. Like we said on True Hill, the whole Tony Khan Ariel Wani thing is the biggest double kick to the nuts, double knockout finish Twitter beef that I ever seen. But WWE doubling down on it, it's just like, oh, the level of pettiness is going up. I'm here for it because we're going to get maybe a Tony Khan promo, online exclusive with Tony Schiavone. Give me that. I'm here.
Yeah, definitely, because Tony Schiavone is a much better reporter.
Wallaby saying Huckster and the Nacho Man. Yes, good stuff. 1996. Frantic Girl said the guys on Grab City said Tony Khan should have Jeezy on Dynamite.
That would work. I'm all for that now.
He was like these biased reporters ain't out here trying to talk to Jeezy, so I had to bring you on. There was so many stuff. Stray S Boy saying that Gilbert, you had fake Razor Ramon, fake Diesel. There was so much shit going on during the 1996 through the Attitude Era. It was ridiculous. Let's talk about the next match on this card. Finally, here you had a mixed tag team matchup of the Grit Couple, Edge and Beth Phoenix, versus the Judgment Day's Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor. Balor and Finn Balor, Balor and Edge, they did their thing and had a bunch of, encounters with each other. But this match was Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley. These two women went out there, were doing the Tomohiro Ishii, Shingo Takagi spots of the clotheslines to each other and no selling it. They were chopping the shit out of each other. Big spots to galore. Dominic was a fucking heat magnet on the outside with "fuck you, Dominic" chants from the Montreal crowd. He got involved a couple of times during this matchup, but he's just overall facial expressions and stuff added a lot to this one. But like I said, Beth and Rhea just showed out and were the highlight of this matchup. There was a couple of double team spots, like when the Grit Couple had on the double educator on Judgment Day and Rhea stopped Finn from tapping out. Dom tried to get involved, but the referee stopped him, which led to him throwing brass knuckles into Rhea Ripley, who nailed Edge with it and got a nice near fall for Finn Balor. The two women showing off their power in this one with a double powerbomb spot here. Then in the end, it was Finn Balor was holding on to Edge in the ring and trying to make him watch as Rhea was about to concerto Beth on the outside while she was laying on steel steps. But Beth moved out the way, got Rhea connected with the steel steps. Edge took care of Dominic with a dive to the outside, while Beth Phoenix hit the glam slam on Rhea Ripley on the floor. Back in the ring, Edge delivers the spear as Finn is about to hit the shotgun dropkick. But they didn't just stop there. We got another AEW reference as former AEW World Tag Team Champions and Greenville, North Carolina, fellow residents of the Grit Couple, FTR, said, "You can use our finisher." And they hit the goddamn shatter machine perfectly, by the way, by the Grit Couple, to lead to Edge pinning Finn Balor as Edge and Beth Phoenix got the win here. Really good matchup here. This was a bunch of fun. I gave this 3.5 stars, but I thought this was actually better than the Women's Chamber. I thought the crowd was into it a little bit more. The Edge and Beth Phoenix, make a good mixed tag team, being the Grit Couple that they are. But like I said, Beth and Rhea were the stars of this damn match. Wendy, what did you think?
So in the beginning, in the beginning of the match, there was some weird spots. Like I noticed some weird spots, like, and I think the camera as well, like the way the camera was angled in certain spots was kind of weird, whatever. But I actually do like the match. Between first, I love how Beth. I love her gear. How basically the gear that she had was like when she first debuted in WWE. Like I thought that was really
And she had the
cool. Like
face paint tribute to Bull Nakano.
Bull
I like
Nakano, which
that was
I
great.
like that. Yeah, I thought that was great. Like I thought, her like paying homage to like how she started, how she got into WWE. I thought that was really cool, and her homage to Bull Nakano, which she doesn't get that. She was a great wrestler, great Japanese wrestler, or a great wrestler in general.
Yeah.
Other than that, towards the end, it was really good. Dominic was MVP. Well, I don't want to say MVP. Let's go. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Dominic was MVP for that match. Like he was a great highlight. It was funny how, he was running. He was like leaving the ring, whatever, and everyone was like yelling, like, no, 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 hey, 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 goodbye, whatever.
And
And
then
then he
comes
was
back
just
up.
like, he comes back, he's like, I lied, I'm coming, I'm here, I'm back. And then all you hear is boos. All that was price. That was amazing. I love that part. Other than that, the match is great. I love Rhea and Bev. Like they're two powerhouse, strong women. And in a way, it kind of goes off like them trying to one up each other and stuff. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. I'll give it 3 stars.
There we go. Ness, what about you?
I'm gonna actually go kind of high on this match. Well, higher than you guys. I actually gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed this way more than I was expecting, to be completely honest. Excuse me. I really didn't expect for Beth and Rhea to work the majority of this match the way they did. I even said on the stream, like this was female strong style. Like they were going hard, and we don't get that a lot in women's wrestling. Definitely not in the States. So it was a lot. Like it was a lot of fun just seeing them go out there and just beat the hell out of each other. Also, like I gotta agree with Wendy. Dom's involvement in this match was like stellar. Him doing all the heel antics and stuff like that. It's a couple points of this match. They were paying more attention to Dom than they were actually paying attention to the people involved in this match. And that was great. Well, I will have to say this. I apologize for saying that Dom should have been in this match, knowing that I wanted Edge and Beth to win, because that would have hurt Rhea and Dom's credibility. Finn could take the loss. It's fine. He bounce back. He's beaten Edge however many times. Edge done whatever to him however many times. So that actually works. So having because I wanted Edge and Beth to win this match, and I said it just like that. Rhea doesn't have to take the pin; that she doesn't have to be involved with the decision. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people had Judgment Day winning. Like, oh, Rhea can't lose; she has to go to Mania to face Charlotte. I'm just like, well, she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to lose. She doesn't have to be the one. I mean, she's going to lose, but she doesn't have to be the one to take the pin. But again, like it's Finn. He can get pinned, bounce back, and it's whatever. But like I think everything about this match was great. Much kudos to the ladies again. Like they were going hard. Even Beth. I would agree with when it was a couple missteps, miscues, but I think it's because Beth hasn't been in the ring, and that's just from what I was seeing. She hasn't been in the ring like that. So even coming back and having this caliber of match with the time she's been away, like I still think, regardless of the few slip ups, she did great. And like overall, this was like one of my favorite matches on the card, because I went in again low expectations. Like I've seen Edge and against whatever forms of Judgment Day, however many forms at this point, but they put a new spin on it, and that I wasn't expecting. So I enjoyed it a lot. I gave it 4 stars.
We got Antoine who says, book it Triple H, Beth versus Rhea, SummerSlam for the title. That was another reason why I thought Edge and Beth Phoenix would win, to set up them basically doing the Beth and Rhea, because Beth could say, first time we went against each other, my team won, your team lost, after Rhea wins the championship at WrestleMania. We got Will Chisholm says, with the finish of this match, do you believe we getting Edge versus Finn in Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania? I think the key to this was what happened in the press conference after the show, with Austin Theory making a U.S. Championship Open Challenge and Edge being the one to accept it. So that match is going to be happening on Raw this Monday. I think that Finn and the Judgment Day are going to cost Edge that matchup to set up Edge and Finn one more time, maybe in Hell in a Cell, probably at WrestleMania, and it's going to be Brood Edge versus Demon Finn Balor to complete this whole thing. But now it is time for the double main event on this show here, and boy, oh boy, did this two matches deliver. Let's start off with the United States Championship Men's Elimination Chamber. Austin Theory defending against Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, Montez Ford, and Bronson Reed. We had Montez Ford coming out with a immaculate ring jacket, courtesy of course, his bae, his wife, Bianca Belair. It looked great on him. He looked like a bona fide star on his own that could stand on his own 2 feet. Bronson Reed, I love how they shoot his entrance with his just huge back on the screen as he comes out. And then smartly, WWE watches True Hill Heat. I've been telling this people for years. They watch True Hill Heat because I said it. Seth Rollins and Johnny Gargano are the perfect 2 people to start this match. And that's exactly what we got in the beginning. They started off this match on a nice little pace. We got a bunch of like near falls and roll-ups between the 2 men, 2 of the best wrestlers on the WWE roster here. Then Austin Theory came in, and I loved commentary pointing out all the history that Austin Theory and how basically Gargano and Rollins were both mentors for Theory at different points, whether it be the Messiah Seth that had Theory and Buddy Matthews as his kind of young boys, or whether it be Johnny and Austin Theory in The Way. And he even said, the way, let's team up together. The fans only care about Seth. But Johnny did not listen to that, still attacking Theory. Theory tries to get away by going into the pod, and then Johnny's trying to open the pod, and he's trying to keep it closed. So Seth just goes on the other side and opens the pod door, and Johnny points to him. They start jumping Theory in the pod, like they're in like a freaking phone booth. Oh, that was great. This is great stuff. Damian Priest was the next out into the matchup. He was very dominant, hitting like big moves on everybody involved, but especially Seth Rollins and Johnny Gargano. Then Bronson Reed came in, and this dude was legit like a wrecking ball. He was like a wrecking ball, just going through everyone. Big moves, throwing people into pods. Then he had the highlight moment where he had showed off his strength with a double Samoan drop on Gargano and Rollins. Last out into this matchup was Montez Ford, who might have been the MVP of this whole entire matchup. Early on, this dude climbs the chamber, and he goes all the way to the top and does basically a gymnastic skinning the cat, which formed into like a shooting star press off the top of the chamber down to a pile of the competitors below. This was insane, but Montez Ford, what a standout performance that he had throughout this. This match went nearly 18 minutes before we got our first elimination, with everyone hitting their big moves on Bronson Reed. We had Johnny hitting the one final beat, followed by Seth with the curb stomp, and then Montez Ford hit the frog splash to finally eliminate the big man. Then we got a bunch of big spots for like the next 5 minutes. Everyone's fighting up the chamber, and eventually it leaves Rollins and Gargano on top of a pod. They start fighting it out with Seth lifting Gargano for a power bomb, but Gargano reverses it at the last minute into a goddamn Frankensteiner. Oh my God, this was great. We had the Frankensteiner off the pod onto a pile of the competitors below. Then back in the ring, Damian Priest hits the Razor's Edge on Gargano for the 1-2-3 to get rid of Gargano here. Gargano definitely rose his stock with his performance in this one. He got eliminated just under the 23-minute mark. Very quickly after that, Damian Priest, he gets a double team move from Seth Rollins and Montez Ford, with Seth lifting him up in a power bomb and Montez doing a top rope blockbuster to eliminate Damian Priest. That was just under 25 minutes. So we were down to 3, Montez, Rollins, and Theory. A good sequence between these three men, which ends with Montez Ford getting the curb stomp on the outside grid and then Theory pinning Ford to eliminate him. They sold this very well with Montez selling it like he was concussed after the curb stomp. But this was I was just like, how long this went on, I was like, this is very contrived. Someone's getting involved here. And I was like, well, looking at the two people that's left in here, it's probably Logan Paul. And Logan Paul did, in fact, show up. He shows up out of nowhere, gets into the pod. He hits the buckshot lariat on Seth, and then he follows up with a curb stomp, laying out Seth. He then goes out of the chamber, closes the door, while Theory hits the 8-count down to eliminate Seth Rollins and to win the United States Championship Elimination Chamber match. This match went 31 minutes, 24 seconds, and it was just excellent in-ring action. So many spots that were insane. The whole crowd was on fire. This was just a overall tremendous bout that made everyone involved look better than they were going in. I gave this match 4.5 stars. One of the top, I would say top 5, top 3 Elimination Chamber matches of all time. This delivered so big, and everyone came out of it better than they were going in. Wendy, what did you think?
Oh, I really enjoyed this match. It was fun. It was like, it was fun. Like, I love in the beginning, at first, when it was just Gargano and Seth and the countdown, like it was fast. I was like, oh no, are they like speeding this up? Like, but afterwards, like when Theory came out and it was just 3 of them, I thought that was really fun. They were really good highlights between those 3. And then once, everybody started coming out of their pods and stuff like that, like everybody was a highlight. Like everyone was a highlight. There wasn't not one person that was like, every one of them was a highlight. And everyone, it made them look very strong to where it could have gone anywhere. Like anybody could have won. And that's the thing. That's the great thing about the Elimination Chamber. And that's basically what you need to have in a chamber, I thought, Montez, that man, he's going to be a champion one day. Like, you can see it. He has gold written. Like, he's going to be a champion. He's going to be a real huge star. What was I going to say? Bronson, he was great. Theory. What do you say? What can you say? He's great. Seth, obviously, he's the veteran because he has experience with the chamber. So he's a veteran in that. He does this thing. Gargano, he's another one. He's another person that
Gargano was ice cold going into this matchup, and I feel like he definitely rose his stock. How the Montreal fans kind of reacted to him during his entrance compared to when he left the match, night and day. Yeah, like Gargano's another one where he gives you those great matches. Like, am I surprised that Theory retained? No, because he was my pick. Am I surprised that Logan came out? No, because I already knew that man was gonna come out. That's when they're gonna start the storyline between Seth and Logan. I wasn't surprised. I know Chrissy was mad. I know Chrissy was like, that
fuck Logan Paul. I know she was upset. But that's the thing. To start off the storyline, like you have to like look, you have to do something to bring heat with Logan and start up the storyline between him and Seth, because it was slowly building up. Like, and how are you gonna, like, what's the next step? How are you gonna literally bring it up to the storyline for WrestleMania? So that's basically how you do it. I enjoyed this match. I give it 4.5 stars. It was the better out of between the men's and the women's. This was the better one.
Yeah.
4.5 stars.
I totally agree with you there. Ness, what about you? What did you think about the men's chamber?
I gave this 4 3/4 stars. This might possibly be the best Elimination Chamber match that I've seen. Again, everybody in this match added something to it, just like Wendy said. I'm actually glad for one, Bronson Reed. He looked like a monster. He really wasn't treated the way I think he should have been. I wasn't even all that interested in him in his first run in WWE. Him going back, to being Jonah, having a monster run outside of WWE. I'm hoping now that he's back, they'll actually continue to use him. In this match, he definitely came off strong. It took like 3 guys to fucking beat him, and he was doing damage to the rest of the entrance while they were all in the match. Even Damian Priest, love to see Puerto Ricans get their love and their shine too. He went off. He looked great in that match as well. But one thing I wanted to say about both chambers, I don't know if this is going to be something new going forward, that there weren't any eliminations till everyone was in the match. And I thought that was actually a great fucking idea. I guess sans of, War Games, you guys can't do any eliminations prior to everyone being in. It's not official rule for Elimination Chamber. I just think that they did a lot. They were able to do a lot more for both matches, having everybody in the match at the same time. And I actually like that there weren't any eliminations before everyone was in the match. It gave everyone time to shine, get everyone to interact with each other more, so you can get more out of the contestants than, like 3 minutes into or 2 or 3 entrants into the match. You already got like one pinfall victory or one submission, something like that. So I hope that's something that they do going forward, because that was an underlining thing that I really enjoyed. Also, Montez Ford, man, I low-key wanted to pick him to win, even though I knew it wasn't going to happen. But I don't know how many times I got to say, like, he's having a star-making performance. This dude's a star. This dude's a star. Like, we know this. I don't want the Street Profits to break up per se, or to have like that traditional, you're the star, I'm going to turn on you now. Like, just let him do his own thing outside of the tag team, if it's possible, because he definitely is a star. We know it. Everybody sees it. He just needs to keep getting these opportunities. So I'm glad that he got the shine in this match the way he did. Now, post him getting eliminated, I was actually worried at first. I'm not even going to lie. But as long as it was taken, and then all these refs come out, I'm like, all right, so cool. Like, I can calm down now. He's not really hurt. Something's definitely going to happen. And then boom, Logan Paul showed up. Was one of the prediction questions, will we see Logan Paul? I'm like, he's rich and do whatever the fuck he wants. Sure, he's going to go to Canada. So I actually got that right. So I figured it was going to happen. And I like this again for Seth too, because he's been doing most of the work trying to build this up. Logan, he got the elimination at the Rumble and then did this last night. But Seth's the one on TV talking about Logan Paul, going to these different talk shows, doing these different interviews, building up the match. So Logan finally does have to do his part in it. He doesn't have the typical WWE schedule. So then he added to this a big show, big moment, big feel. I think that was great as well. I had Theory winning also. Like, overall, this was like another one of like my favorite matches on the card. Like, this was, if the main event wasn't as good for some people, or any other match on this card, like, this could definitely be match of the night in my opinion. Like, I pretty much rated it the most. the whole show. So
yeah,
I'm
I'm not mad at anybody who gave it, you gave it 4 3/4. I just don't think it was a perfect match. I think if they would have done like, the Michaels 2010 where Logan Paul comes out of the chamber, I think I would have rated it the same as you, like 4 3/4, near perfection. But I felt like that whole scene, I was just like, oh, it's contrived. Like I know what's about to happen. Logan Paul is about to come out when he could have just came out when anyone was eliminated. Like they could have just had Montez, take the finisher, get eliminated. They have to open the chamber door for him to get out. You could have just had Logan Paul rush in at that point. You didn't need all the officials, which made it like a foregone conclusion. Oh, okay. This is going to be their way of getting Logan Paul into the chamber. It just felt too telegraphed. That's the word.
Yeah, it did.
It felt very telegraphed.
No, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. Or they could have done something different, like something that you wouldn't expect. Like, let's say, like Montez got eliminated, whatever, and then all of a sudden you see somebody like opening, like the bottom on one of the podcasts. Like if they come out instead of coming out.
That's the Shawn Michaels 2010. That's what he did with Undertaker against Undertaker before WrestleMania 26. He came out the bottom. Yeah.
No, but he came out from the ring. Like
no, he came out the grid of the chamber. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like you said, like something like that, but like coming from out from the pod, like so that no one would know, and then like does his thing, just screw Seth. Like if they could have done something different instead of the whole typical, these refs are gonna come and help him out, and then all of a sudden you see Logan Paul running out. Like, I agree. Like I wish they would have done something different with that. But I will say that with Montez, I love the fact that he was gonna do the rock bottom. I mean, not the rock bottom, the people's elbow.
Yeah,
the people's elbow. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it," and then he was doing it, and then did it happen? I'm like, "Ah."
And then he did the rock bottom later in the match.
Yes, he did the rock bottom.
He's just a rock tribute act. I love it.
Yeah,
he's just a ball of charisma and energy. Like he is a future world champion, in my opinion. Like this guy has so much potential, and it's just so obvious to so many people, to the point that Triple H was mad that he didn't mention how much of a star Montez Ford came off like during the press conference. We got in the chat here. We got Queen Monet who said, I thought Logan was going to be a cameraman. That would have been great if he was a cameraman, if he was dressed as a cameraman. And then while all of that, they could have done the same thing. But as all the referees and officials are distracted, we just see the cameraman put down the camera and take off the hat and it's Logan Paul. That would have gave you the, instead of it feeling like, okay, we know what's about to happen now. That's what it kind of felt like. We could have got the pop of the reveal. That would have been better. I agree with Queen Monet on that one. But everyone in Montreal was waiting for this one. It was probably the best built WWE match since CM Punk versus John Cena, where everything was aligned. You had the babyface in his hometown. You had the evil heel established world champion, and they did mention on commentary it was champion's prerogative if he wanted to come out first or second, and Roman decided he wanted to come out first. And oh my, this is the most heat I have ever heard for Roman Reigns, and that says a lot for when he was getting shoved down our throat. I think this is the most heat he's gotten since the night after he beat Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. Boos galore when he came out, heat galore, the fuck you Roman chants during his goddamn entrance. It was off the charts. He was getting booed out the damn building, and then the juxtaposition of Sami Zayn coming out to Worlds Apart. We still got it, Worlds Apart. Just keep it, WWE. Don't go back. Just keep it. They got an all-time ovation right on the status. I think even louder than CM Punk in Chicago at Money in the Bank 2011. And just the emotion on Sami Zayn's face. He had his wife in the front row with his kids as well. And this was just peak Roman Reigns heel. He was like, I just said, I was messaging people, and I was messaging actually Jimmy Macaram during this matchup. I was just, Roman is the perfect heel for this situation because he was just trash talking the Montreal fans, trash talking Sami throughout this, saying that I was trying to help you. I was trying to provide for you. Talking to his wife in the front row, he kept winking at the wife, kept waving at the wife, saying, "I was trying to be there for you. I was trying to make him a part of my family." He is just awesome at everything he does. Sami coming back, just a couple of like hope spots throughout this one. Then he made a couple of spirited comebacks. At one point, Roman goes outside, and the wife tells him he loved you, and he was like, he was trying to be part of. I was trying to make him part of my family. He's trash talking the fans in the front row, and then Sami comes back. He fires up. He kisses his wife in the front row, which gets a huge pop from the fans. You get Sami chants in this one. He hits a big time a blue thunder bomb, but that's he gets a blue thunder bomb reverse into a rock bottom by Roman for a 2 count. Then he loads up the Superman punch, but Sami reverses into the exploder. He, instead of going for the Aluva kick, he hits a Superman punch, and then he follows up with the Aluva kick for a great 2 count. We get Sami Zayn after in a second Aluva kick. We get a referee bump, and it was like, oh, here we go. Here comes the fuckery. You get Jimmy Uso coming out. He gives Sami 3 super kicks, followed by the Uso splash, and then Jimmy drags Roman on top of Sami, but he kicks out at 2.99. Great ovation for that one. They slug it out on their knees at this point. The fans just trying to get behind Sami, trying to rally behind him. Roman hits a spear, and Sami kicks out. The fans are going nuts at this point. Sami takes out Jimmy with the Haluva kick, and then he hits a spear of his own for a 2 count. We get Roman after he gets another near fall off the Superman punch. He is frustrated. He's trying to say, man, I was trying to be there for you. I was trying to be there for you. The second referee gets knocked out. So we got 2 referee bumps in this matchup. God, I was just like, this was like at 5 stars, and then we got a second referee bump, and I was just like, oh, here, so much for that. At that point, Roman tells Paul Heyman to give him a chair. He gets the chair, and he's about to hit Sami with it when Jey Uso comes out in a mirroring of the Royal Rumble. He stands in front of Sami Zayn, like Sami Zayn stood in front of Kevin Owens, but he's very conflicted. He's not even looking at Roman Reigns. And Roman tells him in another mirroring of the Royal Rumble, he says, I'm not going to hit him with the chair. You are. He hands Jey the chair. Jey grabs the chair, but he's very hesitant. He doesn't know what to do. He's very conflicted. It looks at one point he's going to make the same decision that Sami Zayn was going to make, but Roman turns around and says, what are you doing? In another mirroring of the Royal Rumble, like he did to Sami Zayn, he starts mushing Jey in his face, but this all leads to Sami getting up. He goes for a spear on Roman, who walks out the way, and he hits Jey with the spear. With that distraction, Roman picks up the chair, and he starts smashing Sami Zayn with it, to the point that Sami Zayn had very visible bruising after the matchup due to how hard Roman was just wailing on this man, unloading on this man with the steel chair. He then finally gets up. He hits another spear. The referee comes to life. 1, 2, 3, 32 minutes, 19 seconds. Sami Zayn has lost in Montreal. These fans, man, the look on these fans' face was just like stunned and disappointment. After the match, Roman tells Jimmy to attack Sami some more, so he gets on top, ground and pound. But The music of Kevin Owens hits. Kevin Owens has returned in his home country of Canada. He goes after Jimmy Uso, goes after him, and he takes out Jimmy on the outside. And then he stares at Roman. He goes inside. He fights with Roman. He delivers a stunner to the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. At this point, Jimmy gets back involved, and he takes Jimmy outside, and he delivers the pop-up powerbomb through a table on Jimmy. Paul Heyman, he gets grabs a steel chair. Paul Heyman tries to stop him, and Paul Heyman gets a stunner who sells it like it's in the 1970s. It was a hilarious sell by Paul Heyman. And then we have Roman getting up in the corner. Sami Zayn has gotten up, and Kevin Owens is in the middle. He looks at Sami Zayn, and then he moves out the way so Sami can deliver the haluva kick to Roman Reigns. Sami gets a measure of revenge after the matchup. Him and Kevin Owens are in the ring, but Kevin Owens decides to leave the ring. They stare very longingly at each other. Kevin Owens peers over to the WrestleMania sign. I'm thinking this whole time, I was like, when he was in the ring, I was like, okay, here comes the hug. Then it didn't happen. I was like, okay. He's staring at him. You see Sammy's all disappointed. And then I'm like, okay, Kevin's going to get in the ring, get back in the ring, and they're going to do the hugs for the big pop at the end. But no, he leaves. And we end the show with a very disappointed Sami Zayn. Oh. That's what it was. Like, I love this match. The crowd was off the charts. The storytelling was superb. The in-ring action was good to great, depending on how much you enjoy the Roman Reigns style of wrestling. But Sami Zayn was an excellent underdog babyface throughout this one. I really wanted to give this one 4 3/4 stars, but recapping it and just how disappointing it was, because I think if the post-match was better, if we would have got either two things that we could have got to make this better, was either Jay making a real decision, because we don't know where Jey Uso stands. And I understand we got 6 weeks of WrestleMania until WrestleMania. So you got to, build up the TV ratings, and they're probably going to be on both Raw and SmackDown. So that's like 12 different shows for them to spread out this story. So, okay, I understand they want to save the Jey Uso part. But they could have gave us Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn hugging. They could have gave us the real reunion. That was the ending that this Montreal fans wanted. If they weren't going to get Sami Zayn winning the championship, at least the reunion, at least the hug. I understand you have weeks until WrestleMania, but just give them something. Give them that at least. They're hometown boys hugging in the ring. And I thought I would have gave this 4 3/4, maybe even 5 stars, because of the ending being a little bit deflating, a little bit disappointing, and the post-match not giving me what I really wanted from it. I'm going to go 4.5 stars. Great match, a WWE Match of the Year candidate, and probably one of the greatest crowds WWE ever has had for a main event. But there was some setbacks to it. There was some things that left a little bit to desire. Ness, what did you think?
I also give it 4.5. I thought it was great from start to finish. Sammy, man, I'm just glad he finally get his flowers. We've already know that he was a great performer. It's just I wish that he would get these looks more often, but shout out to him for being in one of the best storylines, or probably the best storyline in WWE history in all these years. Roman, the Heat Magnet. I absolutely hate when champions come out first. I didn't have that commentary up, so I didn't know that they gave him an option to pick. But I usually hate that. But for this, I gave it a pass. Of course, it makes sense for Roman to come out first, get all that heat, get the boo, the fuck you Roman chants, all that stuff. It just makes sense. So then when the hometown hero comes out, it makes the most sense for him to get that pop, because you want the pop to be more than like the booing and everything going into the match. So that made sense. Then the match itself, a little too many rough bumps for me. I get it though, because it's the bloodline thing, and they got to have all the shenanigans, and that makes sense. So I get it. But still, it was still a great match, even with them. I didn't expect to see Jimmy or Jay there, regarding their history. I did hear different stories about if whatever terms and conditions that they will be able to get into Canada. So it did make sense. I just didn't expect them to be there. But I'm glad there, because it somewhat progress the story with them, that Jay still doesn't really make a decision. I agree with you on that. It doesn't really make anything. It didn't make anything better for the situation, in my opinion, because it's still on the outs of, all right, Roman's the tribal chief. He's the head of the table. And Jay's like not falling in line still. So they are still kind of progressing that story. I thought he was going to do it. Honestly, I thought he was going to hit him with the chair. And like that would have been a definitive answer. But I like the cliffhanger for the Jay Roman part of the story. Now, or it's okay. I can deal with it. What I really actually did like, far as not getting a definitive answer, was the Sami and KO aspect of it. And I looked at it differently because KO spent all those months, all those weeks saying, yo, they're not your family, they're just using you. Even though he was wrong, because again, he was wrong. He was a part of the family. They loved him, just like Roman said to Sami's wife. But the thing is, I kind of get why there was no real what's the word I'm looking for? Reconciliation between the two of them, because one, you kicked me in my dick, first of all, or you fucking low blowed me.
Come on, dog. How many times did Kevin Owens betray Sami Zayn? Like, that's just petty.
Exactly.
That's just petty. That's just petty. That's like saying that Sami should never forgive you. Why should Sami be all conflicted? He did. He had your back when it really counted.
It's human nature. It's human nature. Like, oh, forget all the times I screwed you over. You screwed me over this one time. Oh man, I don't like that. So like, I've been in those situations before, unfortunately. So I get it. But honestly, again, looking at it for like, we didn't get that full out reconciliation thing. But again, I get it. They have to drag it out. They do, like you said, we got 6 weeks left of Mania and no major shows going forward until Mania for them to build it up. So they can spend however many weeks with them at odds. I'll say maybe 2-3 weeks tops, they'll be at odds. Like, leave it at that. Like, just Raw, if they do it on Raw and SmackDown, I'll give it 2 weeks. If you progress that part of the story for 2 weeks, Raw and SmackDown, that's basically 4 episodes of the show, 2 Raws, 2 SmackDowns. Okay, after that, let's get over them not being on the same page. But if it's like a week before Mania and they're still doing this shit, then I will be, all right, this is jump the shark. Let's get this shit over with. Let these guys, like, at that point, there's nothing else to do. Like, you're just going to have to fucking force it at that point. But overall, it was a great match. Everybody played their parts. Again, too many ref bumps, but I really can't let that impact how the match itself and the story overall with my decision as far as ratings. But yeah, I definitely give it 4.5. It was great, top to bottom. Shout out to all those guys involved. I want to see where it goes. Not too many things on WWE programming interest me this much, and the fact that this is actually going to, keep going. Also, I will just throw this out there. We were talking about it on the stream last night. I don't think Cody should be the one. I don't usually say this. I don't think Cody should be the one to beat Roman either.
Welcome to the dark side. Welcome to the dark side. I'm the leader of the bandwagon of Cody should not be the one to beat Roman at WrestleMania.
I don't think it's not doing it. I knew that Sami wasn't going to do it, unfortunately. I love Sami. He wasn't the guy to do it. I'm going for it. I don't really think Cody's the guy to do it either. I mean, he has way more potential to do it than Sami, but I don't really know how I feel about the decision if it actually goes through. But yeah, overall, and now that can potentially be something as far as the story, because the interaction that Cody and Sami had on Monday Night Raw, that can, I don't know, like, they can do so much stuff with it. I just hope they don't drop the ball with it. That's what I wanted on the the Royal Rumble review that we did. I just said I don't want them to drag this out till it gets to the point where, all right, now I'm like, let's finish this up, let's wrap this up, let's get it over with. They got 2 weeks from me. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
That's all.
Let's hit that mark, jump that shark, get it started.
EVB says, my match of the year, and it's going to take something insane to top it. The atmosphere was absolutely unreal. He says, even with the messy ending, and the fact that you're admitting it's a messy ending, probably you'll find something that tops it during the year. Just saying, just saying. I still loved everything about this match. Really interested in the build on TV now till Mania to see just how we get to that KO Sami tag title match. If that's what they do. Wendy, what did you think about the main event of Elimination Chamber?
All right. Well, starting off, Roman coming out first and the audience like booing him, saying "fuck you, Roman." You know, the signs if Roman wins, we ride gave me very Cena versus RVD one night stand. Like the crowd was going crazy, and so that adds on to the heat that Roman has. You know, Sami coming out, you know, afterwards with his song, which they should have never changed. They should have kept it.
Preach, sister, preach.
Should have never changed. I like, you know, so I'm happy that it came back. I'm happy that he got that entrance back. The match was really good. To be honest, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I love how, you know, the fans, they were so like, you know, they really wanted Sami to win. He was the ultimate baby face. The ultimate baby face. I agree with both of you guys, like with your thoughts on it. You know, the ending could have been different. I honestly thought with the Usos coming out, with Jay coming out specifically, I thought he was gonna make a decision right then and there. You know, obviously people were gonna think that he was gonna screw Roman, but I thought he was gonna screw Sami. Like I thought to make it look like, oh, like I'm gonna hit Roman with the chair, but in reality, I'm gonna hit Sami with the chair. For him to make that decision of like, oh, I'm still gonna be with the blood. Blood is, you know, thicker than water. Like, you know, it's my family. Like I can't go against my family. I thought right then and there he was gonna make a decision, you know, and that would have brought even more heat into the bloodline, specific with, you know, with Roman as well. But when that didn't happen, it's like, oh, come on, man, come on, like really, like. I mean, I understand why they will probably like still prolong it, you know, have him like still not make a decision. But, you know, right then and there, I thought he was going to make one. I thought he was going to screw Sami. After the match, post match, when KO finally came out, I'm like, you could have came out during the match.
Like, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that.
Why? I was just sitting there like, I'm sitting there like, you see the two ref bumps, right? There's no ref. You see Jimmy coming out, you know, beating Sami and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm like, all right, KO's coming out. KO's coming out. And he does it. And then he comes out after the match is over. I'm like, you could have came out before? Like, where were you? Like, what were you doing?
Or at the very least, let the beatdown on the by the bloodline on Sami go a little bit farther. Let him pull out the handcuffs like it did with you at the Royal Rumble. So it looks like there's like no hope for Sami. He's about to get murked by the bloodline, and then you choose to come out. Then that makes sense. It did not make sense. Yeah, it did not make sense too much. If he's there, why is he coming out when they're interfering in the match when Jimmy just punches him a few times?
Yeah.
Then you want to come out?
Yeah, it's like afterwards. It's like after the match is over. That's when you come out. It's like, why? You could have came out before. Like, hello. The thing that I do love is the audience. Like, that whole match, everybody was Sami, you know, fuck you, Roman, this and the third, right? Once Roman won, all you saw was nothing, like silence.
My favorite part,
their faces.
My favorite part, Wendy, was when KO comes out and they're trying to go to the fans to see if they're like all excited, and the first person they go to, he just looked like he was checked out. He was he was so disappointed.
But it was so funny how, like, after everybody was like, fuck you, Roman, you know, like during the match, and they're like, Sami, and they were like happy. And then all of a sudden, after the match is over and Roman wins, it's like nothing, right? Like first few minutes, they nothing, just silence. And then afterwards, that's when they start saying, fuck you, Roman. But like, that's when they're all, it's like, I thought that was great. The audience was a highlight. They were a highlight. I love how everything comes together. The only thing that I'm kind of questioning is how, like, you guys are saying this is going to continue, right? With Jay not, Jay has to finally make a decision, right? And my thing is, how's that going to come into the storyline with Cody? Because now it's like, now people are saying, you guys saying like, oh, I don't think Cody should be the one to dethrone Roman, So it's like, how is that going to, come into play with this whole thing that's going to continue with Sami and Roman and KO, But overall, I really enjoy this match. I give it 4 3/4. It's like everything was building up. It was going great. It was going great. And then the ending was kind of like, oh, that's it. It was like, that's it.
That was it.
It was like, that's it. Oh, okay. I expected it to be like a boom, like, oh, this is like the best. And then it was like, I also do want to also point out, highlight with Paul Heyman. He's hilarious. That man is funny. He's funny. Like the way he was punching KO, funny.
And then when he says, I don't even like him. I don't
like him. He's like, I like you. I like you. I'm like, oh man. I was like, he's Paul Heyman.
And MVP.
Paul Heyman.
Oh, Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman. You are a highlight, sir. You keep reinventing yourself. You keep making things fun. You are a highlight
in life. Absolutely. We got your significant other, your fiance in the chat, who says those fans walked out the arena like Eagles fans after the Super Bowl instead.
So shady.
So shady. And even Javon saying, now why the Eagles got to catch straight? He said, I still haven't recovered from that damn game. And Valabi says, way too big of a swing, Josh.
Of course, he comes in with the curveball.
With the shade.
Yes.
Another way that I would have nitpicked it, and I think I said this on the Book It with Hayden over on Fightful Overbook, and I think I said it on True Hill Heat yesterday. I would have booked it. Sami kicks out of that spear at the end, and you would have had those fans like, "Oh my God, that's not it!" Yeah, and then Roman puts him in the guillotine. Sami can fight and fight and fight, and then he passes out. Sami doesn't get pinned. Sami doesn't get submitted. He just passes out from everything he took. All the steel chair shots, Jimmy interference, all the beating from Roman, a couple of spears, and then he chokes him out with the guillotine. I feel like that would have been a bet. If you're going to have the deflating finish of Roman winning, you want to have Sami look as strong as humanly possible. And I thought that he kicking out of one more spear, that would have got the crowd, and the match would have ended at a peak instead of on a dip.
Yeah,
right. And then also just to think of this idea, you know how there's this thing where people are saying, oh, it's gonna be KO and Sami versus the Uso for the tag titles, right? What if WWE flips it and be like, add Sami into the Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania?
I wouldn't want that, because then what is Kevin Owens and the Usos going to do at WrestleMania? I think they're like, that would be my only thing, is that the domino effect of that decision, I don't think is worth it. I think that they have a strong enough story as far as what Cody and Paul Heyman were able to do in their promo, and really kind of bring the two stories of Roman's reign with Cody's goal together. I think they can follow on that and add more layers to that. And I think just adding Sami, it feels too shoehorned. And if you have 2 nights of WrestleMania, I think the better option is one night of Roman and Cody, and one night of Roman and Sami. And then you could do also on night 1 Sami and KO versus the Usos, and you can wash all the hands at once.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, but that is
They're not
the full. No, they're not going to do any of that. we're coming up with ways that this could have been better, but like we've said, it was a fantastic close to the show. Like I said, almost near perfection on how they booked it. There was just slight nitpicks that could have made it even better. But let's put our thumbs in the middle for the entire Elimination Chamber 2023 event in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up all across the board. 3 thumbs up from us. Let us know in the live chat what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Out of 10, what did you give the show? Your MVP, LVP, and match of the night. Wendy, let's start with you. Out of 10, what did you give Elimination Chamber 2023?
I'll give it an 8.
8 out of 10 from Wendy. Ness?
I give it 8.5.
8.5. That's a good one. I'm gonna probably be the high man here. I'm going 9 out of 10. Like, this was a great show, especially with that double main event. Like, it's very rare I give 2 4.5 or more stars to 2 back-to-back matches in WWE. Plus, I thought the women's chamber was really good. The mixed tag match was really good as well. The only downside was the finish to Brock and Bobby Lashley, because that was good up until the kick in the dick finish. That was a perfectly good matchup as well. So I enjoyed a lot of this show. So I give it a 9 out of 10. Let's go LVP first. Ness.
I'm trying hard to figure out an LVP in this match, this show. Oh man. I'm having a real hard time because everybody did so good. Like, I don't even know.
I'm going with Bobby Lashley because he won the match by getting kicked in the dick. Getting kicked in the dick, and now he has to verse the greatest and then the bell rings wrestler at WrestleMania, possibly in Bray Wyatt. So he is the biggest loser of the night.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, you won, but you really lost. Yeah, Bobby, I'm sorry. It got to be you. You won, but you really lost at the end of the day. You may have won the war. No, you won the fight.
You won the battle, but you lost the war.
Yeah, lost the war. Yeah, you definitely lost the war.
Wendy?
Oh, man. Okay. LVP. That Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley finish.
That's a good one.
Finish.
Yeah, just
the finish. Yeah. Just the finish was the LVP.
So that's the referee, Bobby, and Brock gets LVPs for Wendy for that finish. and neutered Paul. MVP for the show. I got a couple. I'll go Montez Ford. I'll go Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns. Yeah, that's my 3. That's my 3 for the show. I think everybody in the men's elimination chamber could make an argument for them in the MVP portion, but Montez Ford, I feel, is the one that raised his stock the most out of everybody in that matchup. And then Roman and Sami for what was one of the best WWE main events in quite some time. Wendy, who's your MVP?
Oh man, that's hard. Okay, so I'm gonna say, okay, I have a couple. So I would say the men's in the men's chamber, all of them, they were MVPs because not one of them was lackluster or anything like that. They all was a highlight of their own. So I'm gonna say the participants in the men's chamber were MVPs. Sami, of course. I would say Sami and Roman. This would be I would say honorable mention. So it's gonna be the members of the participant of the men's chamber, they're MVPs, Sami, Roman. And then my honorable mentions would be Dominic, Paul Heyman, and the Montreal crowd.
Yeah, Montreal. I'm going to add that to my MVPs. It's Montreal crowd. They deserve to be MVPs of the show as well. Ness, who's your MVP?
My MVP is definitely Montez Ford. Again, I think he did it. Had another star-making performance in the men's chamber. Also, Sami got to show the hometown boys some love. He went out there, fought his heart out. Also, got to give it to Roman too, because he drew that heat that he was supposed to get. And I'll add the Montreal crowd too as well. Like those guys were hot from start to finish. There was no stopping, like at all. The energy flowed throughout the whole night. I know they're tired. Some of them probably still asleep now, but I give them much props. They made the show that much better too with their energy.
Absolutely, all the way around there. And then finally, match of the night, which is the hardest. Now, I any other time I rated this matches the same, I would probably say, I would go match of the night, but I'm gonna pick one, and I'm gonna say because of the finish, I can't do the main event. I'm gonna go with the men's elimination chamber. Wendy.
Oh, I 100% agree. I would have. Let me see. Yeah, if it wasn't for that finish with the main event, I definitely would have picked the main event. But I'm definitely gonna go with the men's chamber match.
Ness.
Yeah, it's unanimous. Definitely the men's chamber for me as well.
All the way around men's chamber, John Elite saying the same thing. Safet saying MVP, Roman, Montreal crowd, Sami, and Montez Ford. So same as mine. Good man, Safet, Bronx represent. John Elite says LVP, Heyman with those kid-like punches. The ref in Brock and Bobby, and then MVP, Sami, Tez, and Roman. So good stuff all the way around. If you're watching this on demand, let us know in the comments down below your match of the night, MVP, LVP, whether you gave the show thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show overall? But that is all for our WWE Elimination Chamber 2023 Roundtable review. I want to thank Wendy and Ness so much, my great co-host, for this review here. Wendy, let the people know if you want them to follow you and when they'll see you next time here on the channel.
Oh man. Okay. So you can follow me on Instagram at Evelise2anyone. I am the Sailor Moon / K-pop fanatic as my new nickname now. I usually it's hard to catch me on any of the streams because I am working. So it is a rare time to catch me on a stream, but usually I would pop up on the pay-per-view watch-alongs, whether it's WWE, AEW, or maybe New Japan. Who knows? If I'm willing to break night like the last Wrestle Kingdom, I don't know. But other than that, yeah, you can catch me on those. Catch me on the watch-alongs, WWE pay-per-views, AEW. I would be with my significant other, the True Draw Josh, the petty man of this round table. The petty man. He always, speaks honest truths, I guess.
He speaks from the heart. That's all we
Yes, speaks from the heart. But yeah, you can catch me on there. That's the only place you're gonna find me on, just Instagram. No face. Don't follow me on Facebook. I don't be on Twitter. Sorry. No Snapchat. No Christian Mingle, as drunk guy JJ will say.
All those things.
I'm not on Christian Mingle. I'm not on Skonex. Not on, what is it? Meet Me, Plenty of Fish. No, do not catch me. I am not on that. I am a happily engaged woman. Only on Instagram you can follow me.
Perfect. Ness, let the people know where they can follow you, sir.
Oh man, I hate when you guys do that. I gotta go after you because I'm trying to not the corpse. But you guys can catch me or follow me on Instagram and Twitter, skinny__Kravitz. Right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel every Tuesday. Myself, Chris G, and Romeo, we go live watching NXT for NX3. You can also catch me on twitch.tv /True Hill Heat Gaming. Myself, Chris G, every Thursday we go live watching Impact Wrestling on Blunt Impact. I'm contractually obligated to show up twice a month on Elite Heat. That's every Wednesday on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. We watch Dynamite. And I pop up on the reviews, roundtables. Probably depending on how I feel, because this was a great show. I might be on Monday Night Raw at some point, Rated Raw Superstars on Monday. Yeah, so I like to.
There you go.
Yeah, pop up.
You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. You'll have additional content over there. The Raw Report this week. We'll also put some additional content on there. Hardcore Rewind is coming soon to there as well. True Hill Heat Sports, our secondary channel where we talk about all things sport. We had another edition of True Hill Heat Check on Friday with me and Chris G doing our NBA All-Star Draft and preview. Check out the game tonight. Maybe we'll do a watch along for that. I don't know. But yes, check out all the great stuff that we got here on the channel. We had our watch along last night for WWE Elimination Chamber and Battle in the Valley from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tomorrow we'll go live at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time for a Battle in the Valley roundtable review with myself and Jay News. Check out True Hill Heat 213 from yesterday with myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and Top Guy JJ talking all things from this past week in professional wrestling. But once again, big thanks to Wendy. Big thanks to Ness, the 3-time baby making champion. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our WWE Elimination Chamber 2023 Roundtable Review. We are signing off until next.